I will share the diagram with you on this haircut. Actually, Sammy, will you go grab those cutting cards in the back right now and bring them up for me? This is one of the most versatile haircuts. This is a great haircut to, it has multiple adaptations. You can do this on long, short hair. This is like a foundational cut that I think I teach most of our new grads. If you don't already know this coming out of beauty school, it's kind of what I like to say like a state board haircut. But again, in California, we're not doing practical exams, so that's a little weird, right? So this is just one of those things, a skill that you have to master. And once you understand it, you're able to change it to make it fit the need that you for your client. So here, go ahead, Sammy, go ahead and hold that. Square layers. I'm going to show you. You guys, I cannot take credit for this. Are you for real, Mom? You're scared?
I heard you say something about a skateboard haircut.
State board, not a skateboard.
Oh, yeah, she does
Skateboard. So this is the diagram for that Paul Mitchell uses. Can you show them that right there? I would suggest screenshotting this if you guys are learning, but this is the basic diagram that we're going to go off of. Yeah, one of my favorite haircuts. So, all right, let's get you started.
Glad we clarified that.
Mom, you don't embarrass me in front of my friends, okay? So the first thing that we do, I like to start with the perimeter always when we are beginning a haircut before a long haircut with layers. I like to use the perimeter as our guide more often than not. If you have a balanced perimeter, then you will have a balanced haircut as long as you're using your perimeter as your guide for these basic layering techniques. Tuck this collar in. Oh, you're a little wet here. I'm actually going to take this off of you. Remember that state board requires a towel around the neck and that your drape should not be touching your client. But for time's sake, I'm just going to move forward with her haircut. Let's cover you up all the way. So, chair side presence. You always have your client sit back relaxed. If they're leaning forward or if they're uptight, that means they're tense. We want to gain their trust. You're going to gently put your hands on their shoulders and just say, go ahead and sit back and relax for me and look straight forward. I just want you to keep your head nice and strong for me as I put some tension on it. And you can come and take a look, Sammy, at my sectioning here. So we started with, actually, I'm going to resection this just a little bit. We started with a section 4, which is 4 quadrants divided starting at the apex, with quadrants 1 and 4 being divided right there at the back of the ear. I'm just going to gently drape that forward. We're leaving our presentation here for our guest so she's not embarrassed. We don't do Zulu knots or any of that stuff around here. Sammy, come this way so you can see my hands. In fact, do we have any product in you? Did we put product in you or no?
No.
Okay, I'll put some product in her actually before I continue this. I just need a little bit of slip here. And Sammy, will you tell me if we get questions? So I'm doing a leave-in conditioner and something with like a styling oil. This has a little bit of silicone on it, or in it, just for that slip. This is mids and ends. She has pretty coarse hair. She's 100% gray. So anything to soften that up. And she already has a lot of great texture to it. I don't need a lot as far as memory is concerned for her if I want her to hold a great blowout, but I am gonna use a little bit of formation. So this is a styling foam, mids and ends. You want me to check Deanna? Oh, she looks great. She looks great. Yeah, she's ready to go. Yeah, let's go ahead and get her double wash. She also has, she traps color in the back of her neck too. So she'll need that little pad to sit on to boost her up into the sink. So we'll do a double wash on her, and then we can apply that toner. Make sure you get her really towel dried with a microfiber towel before you apply that toner. And the toner is just obviously temples and top where I highlighted. Yeah. Yeah, we'll set her for a whole 15. So you might want to take a cap there and let her process sitting up. I don't think she likes to sit and stay in the bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yep.
Bye.
There. Bye. Godspeed. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm taking my little pad with me.
Your little pad. All right.
I like that brush.
I know, it's a great brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. This is the Vented wet brush. I love it. It's like a speed drying brush. Very soft bristle. So we are parted straight down the middle here. I'm going to use her apex. Her apex is always the highest point of her head. I'm just going to go ahead and, Sammy, I'm going to have you come around here. If you ever are questioning how to draw your section, I literally just take my pointer finger right behind the ear, and I put my pointer finger where I want to draw that section to, and I just bring that comb right to it. Same thing on this side. Apex, top of the head, right to the back of the ear. Perfect sectioning every time. I'm gonna change this music real quick. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, and 4 quadrants. Mind you, my finger is in the center back of the neck right here. Sammy, you're welcome to get right up behind me. If I need you to move, Sammy, I will move you, but as long as you can have a good view of what's happening, that's what I really care about. So these are our 4 quadrants, but what I'm going to do to start the perimeter is I'm actually going to cut it in half, starting at the farthest protrusion of the back of the occipital. So this is where it sticks out farthest on the head. So that means anything that is below this point starts scooping under. And all this is going to get cut with 0 elevation for our perimeter here. There we go. Mom, can I take like almost 2 inches, like 1.5 inches off?
Is that what you need to do?
I think it's gorgeous on you that way.
Right.
It's not going to be much shorter than it feels right now.
Okay.
But it's going to have, your layering is going to be at the perfect length for you. Yeah. So it'd still be long enough to pull it up, you know. So one of the ways that I like to describe this haircut is as like the mob boss wife blowout. It's really like bouncy, full layers concentrated in this area all the way around. So this is actually our square 1 length. And what I want you to understand with a square 1 length is it's not the same length all the way around. We actually have the longest points are going to be in the corners, right? So there's going to be a straight line from here to here, and then there's going to be a straight line from here to here, right? On both sides. And if you pull this down, this is actually our guide to cut straight across in front here. So I'm going to grab a stool. Let's get a stoolie here. Sammy, you can follow me if you want. Sorry, Livy, I'm going to grab this stool. Okay. In fact, I'm going to have you stand. Go ahead and stand and come behind the chair for me. Go ahead and stand and come behind the chair for me. I'm going to have you stand and come behind the chair here. Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I thought you were talking about
No worries. Okay, go ahead and face the mirror. All right. Even weight, beautiful. I'm gonna tilt your chin down slightly, perfect. And Sammy, you're welcome to come even like right here if you want to, whatever we can see best. Oh, there's a little hole in this drape. We're gonna have to throw that away. Okay, notice how my fingers are right in front of each other and not doing this, right? We don't want to kick out that perimeter because that actually will distort the shape. So my pointer and middle finger are stacked horizontally on top of each other as I pull this section down. And the only reason I'm able to drop my elbows here is because I have a swivel thumb, which changes my hand positioning from here to here. But if you don't have a swivel thumb, you are gonna wanna keep your elbows at a 90 from each other almost at all times. And this is how you are gonna get a straight cut. So after we cut that perimeter, we're gonna check our balance in those corners there. We're about 1 millimeter longer on this side. Let's see here. Okay, look straight forward for me. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have you turn. And you're gonna turn your head that way. Perfect. So what I'm gonna do here is connect my perimeter using that as my guide. Do you see that right there from behind the ear? Straight across to add a 90. Go ahead and look straight forward. Perfect. Okay, go ahead and turn that way for me. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Actually, turn back towards me. And you're gonna turn your head this way. Perfect. Mind you, we're creating space for the ear, so we're not at maximum tension pulling this straight down. We want that to bubble over the ear because that's how it's gonna sit when it's naturally falling or dry. And we're gonna connect our perimeter here. Okay, go ahead and face me. We're gonna check our balance. A little bit longer on this side. I'm usually pretty generous on the side that I cut second because I can always take it back up. But you can see how little we're cutting right now. Go ahead and face me. I'm gonna cut just a little bit more. Go ahead and turn for me. Wah wah, don't tell anybody. Hey mom, look, this new comb here. We're good. Okay. Keep my secret. There we go. Actually, this is not my preferred cutting comb, but that's okay. I feel like the hook right here is pretty wide and I'm like catching it on things, but go ahead and face me. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna have you face the mirror again. Now I'm going to drop these upper sections, these of this quadrants 2 and 3 here. And just bring that perimeter into balance. You can see that guide underneath it right there. Boom. Straight across. Okay, mind you, our priority right now is to just get the perimeter nice and balanced into a true square 1 length. Okay, go ahead and face. There we go. You can see that corner there, right? Boom and boom. meaning this is the longest point. Okay, go ahead and face the, oh, face me, and then, nope, face me, and then turn your head that way. There you go. My mom's really excited to help. She's just really, really excited. So you can kind of see where that corner meets right there, right? What do you think, Sammy? Are you learning? Are you learning anything?
Yes, usually I just cut some back piece.
Okay.
So mine never had a corner.
Your square one length never had a corner?
Yeah.
Then it was a round one length.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense, right? Okay, she's all balanced. Go ahead and take a seat. Now we're going to work on our layering. And Sammy, you can ask questions, my love. That's part of what makes this a happy, engaging video. And just tell me if we have questions online too. Let me know. All right. The whole point is to pull every single hair to the back of the head and cut it in a straight line like this, okay? Every single one. It's gonna be a horizontal, straight pull back, right? At a 90-degree elevation, and we're just gonna cut it at a 90, right? And then we're gonna move to this side of the head, and as if gravity was pulling every hair on her head this way, we're gonna do the same thing here, same thing here. We're gonna do the same thing here, and we're even gonna do the same thing here, pull all the hair out, and that's gonna be your square layers. The easiest way to control this is in horizontal sectioning. You're welcome to come back here and check this out. Okay, horizontal sectioning, no wider than the width of your comb. And if you are a new hair cutter, you should be using clips there. So I want her layering to start right at that protrusion of that occipital as I let this perimeter fall out, okay? If I use the furthest, the lowest point on her nape as her guide, her layers would be about here. But I want to use the protrusion from her occipital as her guide. This is the furthest point out. And this is maximum tension, 90-degree elevation, and we are doing 0 over direction, meaning now that I pulled, Sammy, come this way. So here was my first section, here's my second section. Now that I'm cutting my second section, if I was over directing, I'd be pulling my second section to my first. Come this way, so because I want you to see the angles. I'd be pulling my second section to where my first was cut at. That's not what's happening. I'm actually pulling this second section out at a 90 from where it lives, using that perimeter as my guide, meaning my guide is not traveling from my previous section into my next section. So if I was taking my second section and over directing it into my first section, that would be a stationary guide, and that would be increasing length as I pull sections. But the opposite is adverse is also true. If I was taking my original section number 1 and over directing it into my section number 2, that means I'm decreasing length in my second section, okay? But I'm not doing any of that. I want my perimeter to be my guide, which is why it's so important that I center it. And I want to pull everything at a 90 from the back of the head. Okay, Sammy, come behind me. I'm gonna show you our next section here. Okay, I'm just moving around the head here. You're looking straight forward, Mom?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you're like, I think so. Okay, again, from where the hair lives, I'm not over directing, I'm not pulling towards me. Look at my body positioning though too. So Sammy, take note how my feet are literally perpendicular to her. My body is also perpendicular to her. Her shoulder is at my chest, right? Okay, I'm gonna just, for shits and giggles, pull everything back to make sure. And at this point, my hair, my length should be falling out before I have anything I can cut. Yeah, no, we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna start moving to the other side. Sammy, is this good lighting? Because I'll just turn her. Okay, so again, our section number 1 is right here. Section number 1 was right there. That's the center center vertical section. I'm gonna take half of our section number 1 and marry that to section number 2 right here, using the furthest point of the occipital protrusion as our guide for our cut. Okay, I'm going to take section number 3. I'm pulling my section without any over direction towards or from my previous guide, just straight out at a 90 from where it lives, using the perimeter of our length as our guide for our length of our layers. Mind you, I'm still standing at a 90 to my guest, right? And I'm cutting at my heart level. Taking my next section, pulling it straight back, being sure not to over direct. That looks good. Yeah, this is about where this length is gonna fall out and I won't have anything else to cut. Yep, okay. So now we've done the back. Back's layered, right? So just as a little cheat, I'm not gonna do this quite yet, but as a little cheat code, we're gonna take this length from the apex, right? This, wherever the head starts to curve this way, is going to be your length guide for your top layer, right here. So for example, when I start taking my top, this is my length guide right there, okay? Yep. And come here, look at how pretty that is. That fallout right there, that concentration of layering right there is so gorgeous, right? Okay, I'm actually gonna move to the sides now, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn her. All right. Right where our longest point is, our corner right here that lived right behind the ear, this is gonna be our guide for the length as I pull my layers out this way. Perpendicular. Look at that. Okay, right there, right at the parietal. As the occipital wraps around to the parietal is our guide. Take my next section. Taking my next section. This is the same concept as I did in the back. It's horizontal sections. I'm not over directing forward or away from me. I'm pulling it to a 90. I'm using the curvature of the head as the length for my layers guide. Controlling your sections. Try not to use your previous cut as your exact guide. Mind you, because this hair is now traveling forward this way to meet the section that you pulled here. Okay, those are done there. We're gonna turn her this way. All right, Sammy, you can stand right here so we can see this sectioning here, right? So I'm pulling a little bit from my previous guide into my new section, into quadrant 4 here, and I'm standing at a 90 from my guest. If we're cutting square layers, we're standing in a square. Look at my body positioning. Look at how straight up my back and neck are, right? My hands, the 90 at my elbow. Maximum tension. Pulling another horizontal section. Boom. Boom. Easy peasy. Again, my parietal which wrapped around from the protrusion of my occipital, right in there is my length guide. You can see that right there. Okay. Let's do the same thing here. Yep. Okay. What I'm going to do now is pull everything straight forward. So this is going to be where we start to see some of this face framing in here, okay? This is usually the scary part for my stylists. I'm going to start near the ear, and I'm going to pull everything forward this way, okay? Mind you, that is my guide right there. See that? Nice and tight. All that hair. Your head needs to be straight forward. No tilting of the chin. Look at how much hair we're cutting off right here. Wait for it. Oh my God. Look at that face framing. I'm going to clean up that by the ear. Gorgeous. Missed a little hair right there. Refine that. Okay. Moving to the other side. Same thing. Starting with this section right above the ear, right here. Checking my guide for my length, right? I can even pull a piece from my previously cut section and be like, oh yeah, that's right where I want to cut it, right? Yeah, having your client's head positioning correct is so critical. Okay. So, our last order of operations, actually, this is how I'm going to connect into the top. I'm going to take a horizontal section right here of the crown. This is one of my favorite methods. Sammy, will you stand right there? To blend and soften face framing, okay? Is just a concave layer right into the front right there. Okay, so now we're taking the guide from the back, pulling it up, cutting straight across. Yep. Now we're going to pull everything up and make sure. Yes, ma'am. Let's get this out of this beautiful woman's eyes. There we go. Sammy, come stand right here because I want you to see the over direction from the sectioning that I'm pulling, right? I'm not doing this and I'm not doing this. It's straight up from where the hair lives. All right. So we've done her square layers. They are all square. Let me check her face framing on this side. Yeah. All right, do you guys want to watch me blow dry this haircut? Are we ready for that? I think we should do it. Should we just keep rolling or should I start a new live? You don't know? Okay, so at our salon, I request that our stylists pre-dry our clients by using the 4-quadrant method. And we are aiming to blow dry the roots to 100%. in the direction that we want those roots to be styled. So on base, off base, over direction. Like it just depends if we're looking for volume, smoothness. So this is our basic pre-dry method. One quadrant at a time. I'm attacking from all angles. Really focusing my concentration of airflow at the root right there. She doesn't need much pre-drying. Now I'm moving to section number 2. Forward, backwards. I'm just trying to get those pockets of moisture while leaving moisture on the ends. What time is it? 11:53. Okay, we're gonna see how quickly I'm gonna get through this blow dry. Like people are always so impressed when they're like, what do you mean you can blow dry in 15 minutes? I'm like, well, it's kind of a method that we use here, and you only need to use one clip too, so. And a lot of the magic is in the pre-dry, getting those wettest portions of the hair. Now we're gonna move to quadrant number 4. Away from the head. Down towards the face. Okay. So her roots are 100% dry. I'm gonna take my one clip I'm gonna use during this whole blow dry here, and I'm gonna section out what we call the almond. Okay, and this is a 2-inch perimeter essentially around the entire head. And I believe the key to a fabulous blow dry, well, there's a lot of factors, but one of the key factors is clean sectioning. You also want to keep your sections no wider or larger than the width of your round brush. There's a longer round brush. Tabby, will you see if you can find my long ones? Yes. But meanwhile, I'm going to use this. So here with our artisan blow dry method, we always start in the fringe because we want to showcase our hair to our client, their hair to the client immediately. So I like to blow dry all fringe without a part because I believe that it gives you the most volume. Thank you. Here, I trade. Thank you. Do you see how I just brought in a wider round brush? This is going to allow me to take larger sections at a time. Thank you, Tabby. Tell me if you need me to move. Which also means a quicker blow dry. And notice how I am attacking the hair with heat from all angles. This means that the entire hair shaft, front, back, side to side, is being encapsulated with airflow, which is going to bring you a quicker drying time. Some tension, heat plus tension equals shape. Set that to the side. I'm now going to be working here on her temples, right? You see that sectioning mirrors the size and width of my round brush. Away from the face. Front. Top. Back. Boom, boom, boom. Finish those ends with heat. Wrap them up with some tension. Heat plus tension equals shape. Set that down. I'm gonna do the other side. What's that, girly? Are you just watching? We like that around here. I just did the whole haircut that we're teaching on Wednesday on YouTube live, okay? So I will probably have you guys watch it before I even teach the class. And if you are not yet blow drying with both hands, like ambidextrously, I don't even know if that's a word, with dexterity, then you need to practice more. Because that means that we're not there yet. We are not there yet. So finish those ends. Gotta wrap it up. Heat plus tension equals shape. Set that down. Now I can move to the back. I'm essentially going to do this in 2 sections right here. Because look at, I have the extra long round brush. And notice I'm not doing this. I hate this. This is like doesn't do anything. What you want to do is push the hydrogen molecule down the hair shaft. If you're going to do anything, do C's, do scooping motions. Not only that, this does carpal tunnels. This is like so not good for your wrists. And it makes you just work so much harder than you need to work. There's that side. Here's this side. We love to watch around here. I'm telling you, if you're not in a salon or if you're in a salon that does not encourage a group learning environment or with stylists who are gatekeeping, get a different salon. Because that's one of just like the prerequisites culturally to even be considered to work here is the fact that you want to teach and be taught. You want to share and be shared with, right? So we all learn from each other. I am very much a cultivistic mindset or communal mindset where I believe that progression and innovation happen with collaboration, right? So that means working side by side with other stylists. You'll see a hard divide now, like it's happening already, of skill set between stylists who work in isolation versus stylists who work in a team atmosphere. So I say this constantly, but the reason that I am the stylist that I am is because I had the privilege of working in a salon, a group atmosphere for the first 7 years of my career where I just watched masters work on their trade. And that was it. Like I got to ask them questions, I got to mimic them, and I low-key would be like, oh my God, if that's what her hands are doing, then I'm gonna make my hands look like her hands. And before I knew it, I became a blonding specialist because I always talk about Sunny being one of my greatest mentors. You guys got to look her up. Actually, she doesn't do hair anymore, but she always thinks it's so funny when I mention her. She just didn't think much about herself or her skill set. She was a very humble, modest hairstylist, but damn, could this girl do hair. She knew color better than anybody I have ever met. Her brain was phenomenal. And so just the fact that I got to work alongside of her made me a phenomenal hairstylist. And that's just like through immersion, right? You would never get the kind of growth or education that I got from any kind of paid class, any kind of online education. I don't care how often you're going to class or how often you're looking at YouTube videos or any of that. If you don't get the live and an in-person version of the craft that you're trying to master, you're getting the shorthand version, which is why I think so many stylists are struggling right now meeting guest expectations in our industry. And a lot of consumers are underwhelmed with their guest experience. They have lost trust in salon services. It is not what it used to be, and it's so sad. So going to the salon used to be like a whole ass event. Like my mom used to take me to the salon as early as like 6-8 years old, and I just remember the women and the community and the joy that was to be had, and sharing lunches and sharing stories, all that stuff. It was like part of the vibe, you know. And people are less and less visiting the salon, one, because they don't believe that their investment of price is going to match the quality of results that they're paying for. And so they're leaving underwhelmed. Yeah, the experience is great. Yeah, they got a great scalp massage. But if they're walking out with C- hair and they're paying A+ prices, they're not going to be happy about it. And they're less likely to return, or they're going to return less often, you know. So I think there's something to be said for salons, and it really makes me sad that the idea of the communal or the cultivistic mindset of salons is kind of like suffering, because so many stylists were like, oh, well, I'm going to do this on my own. And you know, no blight on them. A lot of salon leadership has failed as far as being leaders and being innovators and getting people the education and keeping and managing healthy team cultures, right? So like there was a lot of toxicity in salons for a long time, and I think we did lack leadership for a long time, but I don't think that's today's salon owner. I really don't. Millennials have showed up in a little bit different way in owning salons, and they're definitely a lot more open-minded, and I believe a lot of them have the character and the grit to stick it out, or at least I did, which kind of just sets you apart in itself. I think about what's one of the things that has made me successful as a hairstylist, and it's so sad, but the honest to God truth is I just kept showing up. I just kept coming to work, right? And now I've done it 15 years later, and people are like, oh my God, you're so good at doing hair. Well, has not always been like that. If you think about it, 90% of the people I've gone to school with don't do hair anymore. And the 3 people that I do know that still do hair from my core work with me or have worked for me. Like 1 is down the street and 2 are here. Like from 2010, right? And we had core size of like class sizes of like 40, right? So I think just like the grit and the ability to stick to it there's a lot to be said for that. So again, notice how I am approaching the hair from all angles. I'm pushing that hydrogen molecule all the way from the roots to the ends. And I'm maintaining a fair amount of tension on the brush at all times. Like realistically, I could move her head around with my brush if I were to pull hard enough. And that's how you're really stretching that hair shaft out. It's kind of like you want to think of like curling a ribbon with scissors. The amount of tension and pinching and pressure that you got to put on a ribbon to get it really to spring back, right? It's funny because one of my junior stylists who went through our intern program, she was like finishing a blowout today. And mind you, free blowouts are our thing, right? She was finishing a blowout today and she was like, oh my God, and her hair, it just blew out so perfectly and it was so easy and it looks so great and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Vix, girl, I'm like, it wasn't always like that. Remember, your skill set has gotten better. And as your skill set gets better, shit just gets easier, right? And it looks better. And then we're like, oh, well, it's the client's hair. The hair type is just perfect. Maybe, but also you working on your craft and really putting some discipline in, it makes you a better hairstylist. Like our interns, they got to do 20 blowouts before they can even touch a client, you know? So I believe in the discipline of the craft. I believe in a communal mindset. I believe in the value of working in the salon with other hairstylists who can mentor you, who you can be mentored by. I believe in asking questions. I believe in all of it. Even being taught as a 15-year veteran, learning from the young stylists who are just coming out of school. What is it that they want to see? What are they struggling with? What are they excited about? Why did they join this industry? You know what I mean? All that stuff, those answers, they kind of just fuel your passion tank again, especially as a veteran. You realize how important you are and how needed you are in this industry to give back. It's just, man, I don't think a lot of us veteran artists really realize how valuable we are right now. If you think about it, in 2020, we lost 30% of our workforce quit. They just quit doing hair or they moved out of state. Where are those? It's a whole generational gap of veteran stylists who had more experience than me, than they were just like, fuck it, I'm not doing hair anymore. This is too hard. And we don't have their expertise. We don't have their knowledge anymore. So it's like the people like me, who I'm only 38, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a dinosaur now in this industry because all the ones that came before me, they all quit. They're done, right? So I think that's one of the reasons that we're lacking leadership here, but in this industry. All right, let's give her a little spin. Oh my gosh, try not to look so mad. This is Mom's smile. She's like, what? You can see, look at these layers. How gorgeous is that, right? So pretty. This is the blowout, you guys. So Square one length, square layers. Let's look at these back here. You guys want to watch me texturize her a little bit because she is so dense. Like as I rub or pull my hands over her ends, I feel that, I feel that bulb or that bubble right there. Okay, so I'm going to take my texturizing shears and I'll show you how I like to get that done. Yes, of course. Nope, you're good. I'm almost done with you. You'll get to leave in like 10 minutes. Does that work? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So,
The way it looks now, though.
it's gorgeous, right? Okay, so I'm just going to texturize a little bit. I'll show you some of my favorite methods to texturize. I like to texturize in diagonal partings. I don't like to texturize horizontal or vertical because I feel like it's too obvious. One of my favorite things to do. Okay, take a diagonal section, do a little bit of weaving, you see that? And just boom, 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 right down the hair shaft. Okay, that's one way to do it. I'm going to do it opposite the other way. Okay, there's that. Or we can also take in the sections that we cut, point cut into with texturizing shears. And that'll remove weight right there. There we go. What do you think, Sammy? Are you learning? Yay! We love learning around here. Learning is everything. Here we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. What celebrity haircut who should I call out and be like, let me cut your hair? Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter, let me cut your hair. I've always like fangirled that girl's hair though, I'll tell you what. Mm-hmm. Okay. You guys. Come on, shake it. Mom, will you shake it for me? Woo!
What's the sandwich that you always order?
I like the Mediterraneo from the Old Town Deli.
That's what I would
Yeah,
do.
okay.
I'm gonna order them now.
All right. Thank you for watching my haircut, you guys. I appreciate it. All right, let's end that.